Welcome back to another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. I'm your host, Gary Malevsky, and the publisher of Cyber Defense Magazine. I have a very special guest, Adrian Viode, who is the field app engineer for one of my favorite companies, Kingston Technology, Kingston.com. Normally, we talk about cybersecurity software, but what happens when you get the wrong USB stick or you have data loss or data leakage in hardware? Adrian's here to help us solve that problem. Adrian, welcome.
Hi.
So you have launched something new today. You want to share something about USB sticks and encryption? What's going on?
Yeah, we've been making those hardware encrypted USBs for the last 5-10 years, and today we've got some. They've been around for quite a while already, but the main message Kingston has for the people out there is really to be careful with unsecured USB stick. We know what problem they can bring. Encrypted, unsafe USB stick have been on the news. People forgot them in the airport or on the train, and sometimes some of the data has been extremely confidential. Therefore, the liability for losing those drives is, quite high and could get people in trouble. So I've been in the industry for a while now, selling those hardware encrypted USBs, which allow you to not to worry if you lose a drive out there in the street, because what happens is they have a password or PIN code to protect them. And if you lose the drive, someone finds it and tries to reach the data, the drive will auto-format itself after a few attempts.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what do they call that? It's a remote wipe capability? Or
it's built in onto the device.
Built into the device.
Yeah, that's right. So after a few attempts, if you put the wrong password, it will auto-format itself and the encryption key will be deleted. Therefore, the data will be gone forever.
So one thing is we don't want to have data leakage or data loss. Number
That's
two is we've got this incredible pressure from GDPR.
That's right.
I remember years ago there was a story in America about Hewlett-Packard. Someone had a laptop and they lost 50,000 records. It wasn't encrypted. Now today we don't put those 50,000 on the hard drive. We throw them on a USB stick or whatever. It's so easy to move information around nowadays. I think that you're going to probably tell me there's more space than I could imagine, but are we into the 100 gigabyte space? Are we into the terabyte space? How much space can I actually have on my USB stick?
So for encrypted USB drives, the capacity remains quite low. In the unsecure space, we're reaching now up to 2 terabytes of data. But for the encrypted USB market, then the data will go up to 128 gig generally. And you don't really want to give too much capacity to users, otherwise they're more likely to store files that are not really, relevant to their work and things like that.
Okay, so 128 gigabytes, and we're talking 256 bit or byte?
Bit.
AES,
encryption.
AES, great.
XTS, yes. And another key feature of those drives is they all have a unique serial number. Therefore, you can, for example, Adrian's USB will only work on Adrian's computer. You could use an endpoint management solution to block USB ports and only allow particular USB drives on particular system. There is also a console that you can use to remotely detonate the drives or kill the drives. You can't kill anyone.
Did Kingston make this, or have you partnered with some software guys?
So the software part is handled by a company called Data Locker. When we acquired Iron Key beginning of last year, we acquired the hardware part of the business, and all the software part went to the company called Data Locker. So we provide...
Is that datalocker.com?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kingston provides the drives, the physical parts. We're a hardware manufacturer, and the software part is handled by Data Locker.
Now, I hear acronyms all the time. There's one I'm kind of excited about. What's TAA?
So TAA means that it's been manufactured in the US. If I tell you that we sell encrypted USB drives that have been made somewhere else, maybe in the Far East, some people will be concerned about this, and this is why our drives, or most of our drives, are TAA compliant, which means that they've been manufactured in the US.
So we've got jobs in America, we've got no backdoors, we've got strong encryption,
Yeah.
We've got USB sticks designed to really preserve and protect the data. And it's true. People lose things all the time. Believe it or not, at a security show that's been going on, I saw some USB sticks floating around that people forgot. One thought was, did they put malware on it? Or did someone actually lose something that may have had something very important on it?
That's right. And I mean, it is really a problem for companies. And a lot of companies decide to completely block the USB port. So this is the ultimate security. However, it does, kind of break a bit your flexibility in terms of passing data around. Some people will be concerned about the cloud. So I think USB drives there's still space in the industry for USB drives. However, you need to control those USB ports. Viruses are a problem. You even have now the USB drives that can completely destroy and zap your computer electronically. So I think one way forward is to control what is inserted into the computer, and endpoint protection with those unique serial numbers is a way to go.
I like the combination. You're talking about data locker to really zap it remotely or keep an eye on it and have uniqueness to it. Because one of the conversations I've had with an executive is about machine identity, right? There's human identity, but ultimately you use your PC all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And why should any wrong USB stick be injected into that PC?
That's right.
And if you've lost it, it's really important because it's your data, even though you're managing it for your company.
That's right.
So Kingston solved that problem, partnered with Data Locker for the software side, has a great hardware solution. Can anybody afford this, or is this just for large enterprises?
No, sure. I mean, we have a wide portfolio starting from the entry level, which is, for the end user like you and me, and up to the military grade level, R&T product line. Then we have flexibility. We have a solution where there is an antivirus built on board. Therefore, when you plug it in, anything you copy onto the USB is firstly hardware encrypted, but secondly is scanned by the antivirus. So if people are worried that there are viruses, going around, that's another way of protecting that. But we have an offering for all types of customers.
That's great. And I know many of the antivirus vendors, they've found a problem when you've got a computer that the virus has been injected just above the operating system level before the AV software gets in. The best way to clean it up, put an AV system on a USB stick. They call it the emergency disk.
That's right.
Pop it in, boot from the change your boot settings to boot from a Kingston USB with the latest AV scanner that you've updated on a different computer, and then run that scan against a hard drive that hasn't yet booted.
Yes.
And that's the way to really clean malware. Don't let the malware function. So I really love what you guys have developed on hardware, your partnerships in software. So this is one of my few interviews where we're talking about hardware and how it works well with software to secure your data and to protect your users and your network. So listen to him, go to kingston.com, check out their encrypted solutions that are TAA compliant, made in the USA with pride, and very secure AES 256. Thank you again. Join us next time for an exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV.